that if you get focused and disciplined and you really know what you're doing, you pick a proven and profitable niche and you build it around your strengths, you could be earning a six-figure income doing something you absolutely love.
Teacher, astronaut, soldier, banker. When I say these different types of careers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what happens when I say YouTuber or content creator? It gets a little more fuzzy if you're at Thanksgiving with Uncle Joe, right? Well, in today's episode, we're going to be breaking down what it actually takes to be a full-time content creator. Because did you know that a study just came out that said content creators are one of the fastest growing small business types right now? My name is Heather Torres, and I am your host of the Think Media podcast, the #1 podcast to help you grow your influence on YouTube and then turn that influence into a high impact and a high profit YouTube channel. And I am so excited that you are here today. And if today is your first time listening to the podcast, I want to say welcome. If you're new here, you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode because we are dropping more and more content every single week. So stay locked in and loaded for that. And today's episode is brought to you by a couple special things we're doing here at Think Media. #1 is we are giving away a brand new YouTube studio. Yes, this means camera, lighting, microphone, and so much more. And in order to enter, we would love for you to fill out a simple survey for us. It takes about 5 minutes over at winthistech.com. You can fill out that survey, be entered in to win this amazing giveaway, and maybe that will be showing up at your doorstep for this holiday season. And the second announcement is that we are hiring here at Think Media. You can go to workwiththink.com to get all of the details of the new job roles that we have available for you, as well as a new internship program that we are starting. So if that sounds like something right up your alley, you can go to workwiththink.com for all of the details. All right, let's get into today's featured content where we are breaking down the data, the facts, and pulling back the curtain on what it takes to be a full-time content creator.
So how much money are full-time YouTubers really making? How long does it take from starting your channel to actually earning a decent living? I'm so excited to dive into this new study that reveals actual data, not someone's opinion, from part-time and full-time content creators, so we can discern some details to help us navigate our journey to building a full-time income and business that makes a difference in people's lives and also makes significant income for our families. So let's dive right into it. But I kind of want to open with a question for you, and it's, have you ever had this question? What is it exactly you do? Now, maybe that's kind of a funny question no matter what, because sometimes you might work in a specific industry that if you go to like a family gathering, like they don't really understand what you do. So you're trying to figure out, like, you're like, I don't know, I'm the VP of operations of a biotech niche, like maybe people don't understand. Well, how much more true is that when it comes to you being a YouTube creator? Like, have you ever been, you're driving in an Uber? I know that happens to me. I'm in like a Lyft and someone's like, so they go, yeah, so where are you headed? I'm like, to a conference. They go, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, and I get stuck. I'm a YouTuber. I usually say, I'm in marketing, or I say, I run a media what do I say? We do video production because there's so many things you actually do as a YouTuber. You could say, yeah, I'm in video production, or I'm in content marketing, or I'm in digital marketing, right? How do you answer the question? And then furthermore, if you say, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, like, what does that even mean? They're like, oh, you're like Ryan's Toys Reviews? you open like Shopkins on YouTube, on the YouTube Kids app? Like, there's like a million definitions. Is it PewDiePie? Are you a gamer? Usually you're not taken seriously as an entrepreneur or a business owner. A business owner isn't really a YouTuber. And this gets into this idea that this study kind of hits on about, it's the largest study that I know of content entrepreneurs. They studied 1,400 content entrepreneurs to understand who they were, what they aspire to do, what it takes to build a successful business. And you can actually, we'll link to it. The study is at thetilt.com, and shout out to the crew over there for putting this study together. Half of the respondents were full-time as a content creator, half were part-time, and they're mixed across Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, and boomers. And one of the initial goals was kind of a definition of terms that really a content entrepreneur, or what we're calling them at Think Media, is a YouTube entrepreneur, niching down kind of even more. The study is covering people that might be on blogging, podcasting, maybe another social platform or YouTube. But I think the principles are 100% transferable to YouTube solely and specifically. They're kind of saying, okay, you're really not a YouTuber, number one. And did you know this? I looked this up. You can go at least on Google, and YouTuber is on Webster. It's in Webster's dictionary. The definition is a person who creates and uploads videos on YouTube, on the YouTube online video sharing service. And you're like, well, that's not helpful. I mean, that's a lot of different things. So that's what YouTuber is. There's this introduction of another term called the creator economy. The creator economy. It's like the biggest buzzword right now. Like, oh, you're a part of the creator economy? Like, what does that even mean? And another synonym for it is the passion economy. Like, oh yeah, these are people who make a living by creating content. So what is the creator economy? Well, it's defined as a class of businesses built by over 50 million independent content creators, curators, and community builders, including social media influencers, bloggers, and videographers, plus the software and finance tools designed to help them with growth and monetization. That's the large and somewhat ambiguous creator economy. And so when we think about a YouTube entrepreneur, it's not just necessarily a YouTuber creating silly content or a TikToker dancing around in the creator economy. It's something different. So the question is the goal to become a content creator, or is the goal to become a content entrepreneur, right? And what are the distinctions of what makes a content entrepreneur? This study from thetilt.com really described, it said content entrepreneurs aren't who they think you are. They aren't who you think they are. Banish the image of under 30 viral YouTube and TikTok stars. The largest and most financially successful cohort in the study was Gen X. 40% of people in the study who are now in their 40s and 50s. Now that right there would probably shock you. First of all, you go to a Christmas party, with your family, and you say you're a YouTuber, and they're like, "Oh, you dance to music? Oh, you post cat videos? Like cute, like that." That's just the assumption. Secondly, they probably don't think that it's 40 and 50-year-olds that are crushing it. And what this study discovered was these are the real channels that are actually funding. They're generating the most profit and revenue in terms of the creator economy, because certainly you can create entertainment-based kind of viral content, earn money with AdSense. But to a point, a lot of those viral trends come and go. These content entrepreneurs, YouTube entrepreneurs, they're building different. They're building a real business. As one person explained, people don't consider it a real business because they think about Instagram influencers and YouTubers doing silly stuff. Content creation covers a lot more than most people think, including business, blogging, and education. So I want to cover 10 things that this study revealed. I highly recommend downloading it and checking out the offerings of thetilt.com. Really grateful that they did this study, because I think this will help us navigate really how to make this a full-time thing, how to make YouTube our career, how to work on our own terms, how to work from home. And what it might disrupt is our mindset of how we thought we were going to do it. It might actually disrupt our definition and even really putting handles on this real career path. In the past, you'd probably say, I don't know, it's kind of the Wild West. It's getting a little more solid now. Like the path to full-time freedom on YouTube is defined. Like it's becoming defined by studies like this. And you're saying, okay, there is a method to this, but it's maybe not what I think. It's maybe not what I conceived before. And this data will help us put handles to that. Number one, truth about the most successful YouTube entrepreneurs. Number one, they work on their content business full-time. They work on their content business full-time. Now, what you might be saying is you might be like, well, obviously, like, of course, the most successful ones do it full-time. I wish I could work on it full-time. That's the point, Sean. I thought you said, how do I work on, I want to do that eventually, but I got a full-time job right now. I got school, I got work, I got responsibilities. I get it. But you know what this first discovery reveals to me? It reveals that when you approach YouTube as a YouTube entrepreneur and not as a YouTuber, you're approaching it with a whole nother dimension of focus and discipline, right? You're approaching it with a mentality that, oh, I'm not actually just like a content creator. I'm a business owner. I'm a CEO. I'm building a business. I need to think about the systems of this, the practicality of this, the viability of this. I need to kind of think about sales, operations, and marketing. I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, but that's a whole different approach. Like you go to, that Thanksgiving party and you're hanging out with Uncle Ernie and he's like, "Whoa, so you're a YouTuber over there?" You're like, "No, I'm a business owner, Ernie. I got P&L, profit, loss. It's a different mentality. Like, no, I'm building like a media content creation company." And a separate study by Signalfire revealed that this is the fastest growing type of small business. My question for you is, do you think yourself as a business owner or do you think yourself as just a YouTuber? So on number 1 here, they work on their content business full time. The research shows that those who are invested full time are more likely to be financially independent than those who treat it as a gig. And this makes sense. Growing a successful venture takes focus and discipline. So my encouragement to you is that even if you're in that side hustle season, flip your mentality from it being just a gig and flip your mentality to full time. By the way, your time, you maybe only have 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week to work on your YouTube business. Be focused and disciplined with those hours. Be thinking differently about building your side. It's kind of almost like some people call it a side hustle. It's like, it's not a hustle, it's a side business. I only have a few hours each week to invest in it, so I'm going to be really serious and focused with those hours. Number 2, content entrepreneurs aren't who you think they are. Banish the image of under 30 viral YouTube or TikTok stars. The largest and most financially successful cohort in this study was Gen X, 40% in the study. Now, these people are in their 40s and their 50s. Now, we read that before, but the point is, I hope this is good news for you to think, okay, by the way, all generations are succeeding. But what's dispelling the myth is that if you're in your legacy years, you're not too late. In fact, if you're Gen X, baby boomers are in this study as well, think of all the business acumen you have, the experience that you have, the wisdom that you have. And see this also as an invitation to see that this is already happening. People just like you. This is what we've discovered. People from different backgrounds, ethnicities, ages, locations. Everybody has a chance to succeed on YouTube because you can go find someone who looks like you, sounds like you, has your background and your experience right now succeeding on the platform. And if you could find one person who's in your same situation, a similar situation, that person should be an invitation to say, oh, it's possible. It's not just for this type of person or this generation or this age group or somebody with great dance skills that can really get it on to a beat of the latest trending song on YouTube Shorts. That's not who's really crushing it when it comes to YouTube entrepreneurship. Number 3, lean in. SEO is the top tactic for content entrepreneurs. Now, to me, this is a major distinction that shows us the pathway to full-time freedom. And what this reveals is that they're creating search-based content, but hear me, even if it's not about, say, just ranking in search, because the point is, on YouTube, 75% of traffic comes from recommendations. But what this being their top traffic source reveals is it reveals that these are channels that solve a problem. So I would say that predominantly these are channels that are in the education niche. It does not mean they're not entertaining. In fact, the best content entrepreneurs do edutainment. You should make your videos interesting or storytell or unpack. But you're solving a problem because think about the term even entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs solve problems for a profit. If you're going to build a real business, you sell toothpaste to help people keep their teeth clean. If you're going to build a real business, you sell a meditation app like Headspace to help people declutter their mind and relax at the end of the day or get their focus back. If you sell supplements or food, and hear me, like I even think about Think Media. We help people build their influence with online videos. Specifically, I grew the channel with the one main vehicle was camera review videos. What's the best camera for YouTube? As a problem, there's products being sold, the cameras. I am actually kind of like a middleman because I just get the affiliate income in the middle, but I'm solving a specific problem. You can go the path of having millions of views and entertainment and making money off YouTube AdSense, absolutely. But for this study, SEO is the top tactic, which is how people grew their audience. Now, the number 2 top tactic was hashtags. Now, obviously, hashtags are most relevant on Instagram. But what does that reveal? The same truth, that you are gathering in search-based you're creating interest-based content. So if people start following yoga hashtags, they might be a good customer for a yoga app, yoga blocks, cool Lululemon yoga leggings, the water bottle, the full thing. Is there a business model around the industry? See, hashtags point to industries. SEO points to industries. I can't sleep at night. I'm dealing with chronic pain. I need help with my taxes. I need help with this or that. There could be supplements. There could be sleep tools. There could be books that give you tips on understanding sleep. There could be books on how to buy and flip properties, right? SEO is the top tactic, and hashtags was number 2 for these content entrepreneurs, these YouTube entrepreneurs. That's a huge insight in maybe how are you positioned? What niche are you picking? What's your channel all about? Number 4, here's the top industries of this particular category of creators. The biggest one, 19%, is business. Second is marketing. So the top 2 are people helping people solve business problems. The second one, helping people solve marketing problems. The next one, education. Next, health and fitness, 9%. Lifestyle is 7%. By the way, lifestyle is one of those ones that we get into on YouTube where I'm a lifestyle creator. Fair, but what does that mean? And it could mean I help people, I put drops in my coffee in the morning, CBD drops. They're delicious. And then, I'm just kind of lifestyle. I like travel but it's a thing. But by the way, it's 7% in terms of these YouTube content entrepreneurs, right? Arts and crafts and DIY is on there, 3%. Entertainment, science and tech, travel and events, and cooking food. Now, if your niche was not just listed, it doesn't mean that you can't thrive as a YouTube entrepreneur, but success leaves clues. So there's something about saying, okay, these are the top 10 industries that were actually in this study. Again, half of these 1,400 people are full-time. The other half are already part-time and earning money. And so this goes into the idea again, have you chosen the right niche? Have you chosen the right channel topic? Have you chosen a proven and a profitable niche? Number 5, the study revealed they have a business mindset. They're focused on the financials and the structure of the content business, how to monetize, how to diversify, how to build an asset rather than a cult of personality. And content creation isn't how they spend the majority of their time. See, this is a whole different mindset. Most people that want to be YouTubers, right? And you're in the Uber, what do? I'm a YouTuber. Oh, I know. I watch PewDiePie. Oh, I've heard of those. I heard of the Paul brothers. I hate those guys. That's cult of personality. And that's cool. Here's what I want to encourage you. Just be self-aware. Be more bold and more confident in what exactly it is you want to build. Who do you want to be? What is your goal? What do you want to be in the future? And I suppose if you're no, I literally want to build a cult. Well, that's kind of weird. But these YouTube entrepreneurs, content entrepreneurs, are not on a mission to build a cult of personality. They're on a mission to solve a problem and serve people. They're on a mission also to build an asset because, in my opinion, and by the way, I've been potentially, early on I saw YouTube, I'm whoa, small town kid, I could get lots of views, people would watch me. I'm glad that I actually matured past that, grew past that, because now I'm I actually kind of want to be less known. I want Think Media to be more known. I don't know if I care if Sean gets known, but I'll tell you this, because if we all win, then we win. And I'll win even bigger, and everyone with me will win even bigger. That's an asset. That's a company. That's a movement. That's just what we're doing. So that's a business mindset. A really smart business owner is not trying to build a business on himself. It's too heavy. Smart business owner is trying to build an asset and something bigger than themselves. It's an interesting distinction. And most successful content entrepreneurs diversify their revenue streams. So again, we're not just leaning in, I'm going to get 1 million views and YouTube will pay me and take care of all my needs. That's cool. But content entrepreneurs oftentimes have multiple income flows. And number 6, now this is interesting. They only spend 30% of their time creating content each week. 30%. Well, Sean, what do they do the other 70%? That's actually a really good question to ask if you're unsure for building maybe something different than you're building right now. Like if you're not getting the results you're getting right now, then maybe you need to do something different. And for the YouTuber, they'd probably say my number one job is to just make YouTube videos, forget everything else. And again, that is a path. But for the content entrepreneur, again, they're thinking about, man, how am I going to monetize? Am I building out products? Am I really setting up strategic brand relationships? Am I building out a team around this? Is there systems around this? What are they doing with the other 70% of their time? Are they writing a book? Are they building out something they can sell? Are they writing an ebook? Are they creating an online course? Are they managing an online course, answering social media, making connections, going back and forth in audio DMs with somebody on Instagram off platform because they're cultivating that relationship that could turn into business? Are they fulfilling on coaching or consulting? There's a lot of things you could do as a YouTube entrepreneur. And the study revealed that literally only 30% of their time was spent in content creation. That means you might want to shift your calendar around into real business building activities. Number 7, the median amount full-time content entrepreneurs invest in their content business. This is the amount of money they spent to start their business, get their business going, was $10,000. That number might shock you. 1,400 people studied, though, part-time and full-time. The average these content entrepreneurs spent was $10,000. It doesn't shock me. I mean, I think about my investment over the last few years of my life, really 2010 to 2015, which I did not have much to show in terms of revenue or growth. I was making progress, even creating momentum, but I was in a preparation season, investing thousands, actually just in my learning. I was buying cameras and lenses, and I'd buy a light kit, but I was buying plane tickets. I was buying event tickets. I was buying online courses. I have a voracious addiction to books. To this day, I buying books, investing. So it's actually not surprising to me where that 10K is allocated is different. And here's the cool thing about this industry is, of course, you can get started with your smartphone. But this goes back to kind of like number 1, these content entrepreneurs are full-time. They're serious. They're focused and disciplined. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're saying, okay, I'm not trying to play small potatoes here. I'm actually going to step up and build something. You know, you can build a crazy quote unquote battle station, AKA a workstation. At Think Media, we call them battle stations. You could get a standing desk and 2 monitors and a camera and a lighting kit and a live stream studio and a USB mic and some software for $5,000 or less. Like, subscribe to our Think Media channel. We have a whole series coming out on building out battle stations. We already have tons of videos up there on different ways to do it at different budget levels. And then in addition to that, you could get courses or coaching or education to help you go further, faster, because this is a real business, right? And so that's the median amount that this is what the study revealed. That means some spent more, some spent less. And check this out. The majority didn't take on debt. I think this is exciting. The majority didn't lean heavily into credit cards, or they didn't get funding, or they didn't take out a loan. You could do that, I guess, but I'm going to really call you out here. I understand empathetically we have a global audience and maybe there's different economies. But if $10,000 scares you, you might not be cut out for this. Because if you're listening to this on a nice smartphone, I want to encourage you, you can raise $10,000. You can save $10,000. You could set aside the money. You don't need it all at once. You're chipping away. Like, you can get the money. Like, stop buying dumb stuff. Like, take some time. Like, try to get a raise. Divert your funds from somewhere else. Downsize your living. Get rid of that car payment. Like, when you think about different people who give financial advice, There's people I know that help people get out of debt. People kill $65,000 of debt in a matter of months because they get gazelle intensity and go after that debt. You can come up with $10,000. And if you're worried about the $10,000, how are you going to handle the company and the YouTube business that you build? So I want to encourage you. You don't have to take on debt to get there. Like, get focused, get disciplined, figure out the tools you need, the path, the things you want that you need help on the journey, and don't be afraid to invest, because that's what the successful, full-time, by the way, content entrepreneurs, that's how much the full-time of this study invested. Number 8, how long does it take to build the business? This is cool. So Sean, how long? Like setting my focus, getting disciplined, and starting this, and I quote, on average, CEs, content entrepreneurs, need 26 months from launch to supporting a single person from their revenues. Now, I believe this means it's actually 26 months until they're fully supporting themselves. Like, one whole person can be supported from the business. Wow. So how long does it take? 26 months. Here's the breakdown. Day 0, launch. 9 months, they've earned their first dollar. 18 months, they've hired help. And this is interesting because in the past episode on the Think Media podcast, I did recommend hiring help before you yourself are even full-time. Like, to start, like, you hire an editor, or you use a service like, VidChops to edit your videos, or you hire a personal assistant, a virtual assistant. And then 26 months, more than 2 years, is when they were supporting somebody fully. This path to profitability and financial success, interestingly enough, because you might go, wow, that kind of puts things into perspective, is actually shorter, though, than the typical small business. So can I talk straight with you about the opportunity here? I think, again, we think, oh my gosh, 26 months? Pff, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Well, then you probably shouldn't. Psh, the full-time people have invested $10,000. Man, I thought this was going to be easy. I thought I could just, well, then this might not be for you. Because if you put this in perspective, if you were to start a local brick and mortar business, like a local coffee shop, you're going to have to raise money or take out a small business loan to buy a multi-$1,000 espresso machine, to hire baristas because you can't work the thing 7 days a week the full time yourself, to hire people to do the cash register and get the iPad with the flip around thing with the little stripe, insert your card here, email the receipt or print the receipt. You're going to have to get the thing to print the receipt unless you can't, because I go, can you print it? And they go, we don't even have that. I'm like, well, why did I have the option? What was the point of pressing the button? And ultimately, why am I even printing receipts? I'm affecting the environment. Let's focus. You now have to pay for the office space, rather the leased business space. You can't sign a 12-month lease. You got to sign a 24-month, 36-month lease to get a good price. You're opening up this coffee shop. You go to a marketing company to get the signage. The signage has like the little neon lights in it, and it needs to be weatherproof so it lasts. That thing costs like a couple grand. You got to get some merch done so that all your baristas have like the shirts. Like, think about starting a business. So the fact that this is a real business, the fastest growing small business type, that potentially the seed capital to start a YouTube entrepreneur business is only $10,000, and it will only take you 26 months until you can support yourself full time. That's even faster than your typical small business. Hear me. I get it. Is it guaranteed even that you're going to succeed? I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying sometimes we're actually underestimating the opportunity. Is it going to be 26 months of hard work? Yeah, for sure. Well, some people, that's the median time. Is some people a lot faster? Yeah. And is some people, will it take longer? Yes. Do some people invest more or lose money on the process or whatever? Of course. But hear me. Like, do you see how real this opportunity is? Like, how incredible this is? That literally people from home are able to start a real business, get these tools, create this, learn these skills. And here's number 9, where it really gets interesting. Well, then, Sean, when they're supporting one person, how much are they bringing in? Here's what the study figured out for the full-time content creators. Again, it was 1,400 people studied, and about half of them. So this is 700 real full-time content entrepreneurs. Full-time content entrepreneurs are earning $50,000 a year. That's the median gross revenue. and that's based in the US. So based on this study, to put it in perspective, first thing you might say is, wow, I mean, my current salary at the company I work for is more than that. Yeah, but do you have the independence and the lifestyle, and are you doing what you love? You might, but so that was one of the main drivers of content entrepreneurs is the freedom. But hear me, you got to have a vision for the future, because the full-time ones were making $50K median gross revenue. Watch this. With 4 or more years of experience, it goes up to $100,000 a year. And with 7 or more years of experience, it goes up to $125,000 a year. What's cool is I hope that this study has been illuminating, but now let's paint that whole picture. So I'm like, okay, wow, it's going to take me 2 years to potentially, based on this study, support myself fully. Maybe I'm earning $50K now. And then add 5 more years, and 7 years into this thing, I'm earning $125K a year. And let's amplify that with inflation 7 years from now. I don't even know, the algorithmic calculation, but you get what I'm saying. This is very real, and these show you the real numbers. Is there crazy YouTube millionaires out there? That's the unicorn stories, of course. Is there also some that are just building a nice side income and they're able to take their family on nicer vacations and earn an extra 500-10K a year? Of course. But this is a very real business, and this study kind of demystified the mystique around it, that if you get focused and disciplined and you really know what you're doing, you pick a proven and profitable niche and you build it around your strengths, that 7 years from now, you could be earning a 6-figure income practically, doing something you absolutely love, which brings us to number 10. Lifestyle, freedom, and independence are the primary motivators of CEs. I'm curious what your motivators are, but I wouldn't be surprised because this is a lot like me, and I assume it's a lot like you. The primary motivators of why do I want to do this is the biggest one, 78% said independence. These content entrepreneurs, these YouTube entrepreneurs are fiercely independent. We don't want to work in that necessarily typical 9-to-5 corporate environment, commute to work every day. We want to be in a place where we have freedom. We are able to be creative. 73%, the ability to pursue their passions. So would you be willing to give up? I believe you can hit all of your wildest financial targets, but I think there's another option. You might be being like, man, my $80K a year salary is really comfortable. Well, would you take 60 to be able to be a YouTube entrepreneur full-time and do what you want? By the way, maybe in the short term, would you be able to go down to 0, quote unquote, lean into your savings to build out the business for a couple years? Because it's going to take 2 years to either build it on the side or hustle, and then start scaling up the money so that you could pursue your passion. 69% said so that you had flexible work hours. 60% said so that you would actually enjoy your work hours. These are the reasons and the benefits of being a content entrepreneur. 59% said so they could challenge themselves. Maybe you're like, my job's cush, man. Got the money. It's kind of cool. I like, it's all right. I don't love my boss. He's all right. I mean, people I work with they're cool. But here's one of the things we need as humans to live a fully charged life. We need challenge. See, we're not shrinking back from challenge. Challenge is when life gets interesting. And it's you step out onto the waters. He called me out upon the waters, right? You step out on the waters when you start your own business of being a YouTube entrepreneur. It's challenging, but it's also exciting if that's your ambition, if that's what you want to do. 43% to earn more than a traditional job. 43% said to choose where I can live. Content entrepreneurs agreed that you have location freedom. If you have an internet connection, you can really do this job, this career, for more time with my family and friends, more time to pursue my hobbies, and ultimately to prove myself to others. So ultimately, how much do YouTubers earn? It's a whole range, but this is pretty accurate. You'd be stunned by the long tail of people earning 35, 50, 80, 100, 125, and beyond per year as YouTube entrepreneurs. And how do you make YouTube your job? Well, I hope you're subscribed to the Think Media podcast. Stay connected with us in this community because that's our mission. We want to help 10,000 purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference in the world with YouTube and online video. My story was I started shooting videos in my bedroom. I started shooting videos for my church in 2003. So I knew about cameras. I had self-taught in video, lenses. I started a media production business. So I took the thing that I had learned and the mistakes I had made, and I started to do tech reviews and tutorials on YouTube around cameras, lenses. What's the best camera for creating content? What's the best microphone? Early videos that did really well, best video editing laptop. How to change an SSD drive for the hybrid drive in my Toshiba laptop. Got like thousands and thousands of views with an affiliate link, and I was able to earn money that way because I was solving a specific problem. That was my journey. I built a six-figure income myself, and now myself and the Think Media team are on this mission to say, hey, we've learned a lot on the way, made a lot of mistakes on the way, and we believe we can help you get there further, faster in your journey of, if you want, becoming a YouTube entrepreneur. So stay locked in with us in this community. I hope this episode served you, and I can't wait to see you or hear you or you hear me on the podcast in the next one.
Well, I hope that featured content was great for you. And I have a couple takeaway questions that I want to ask. First off, what is your next step? Do you need to think bigger, invest more, and lean in more into where you want to grow? Here's a big one. Do you actually just need to get serious? Is it time for you to step outside of your comfort zone and go all in on YouTube? These are just some questions for you to take away from today's episode. And I want to thank you for being a part of the Think Media community. On every single episode, we love to shout out different members who have rated and reviewed the podcast over on Apple Podcasts. And today's community member shout out is brought to you by winthisTech.com. We are giving away a brand new YouTube studio. So all you need to do is go over and fill out a simple survey that will help us know what videos you want us to make in the future. By doing that, you'll be entered in to win a brand new YouTube studio. That is the lighting, the camera, and so much more that'll be sitting on your doorstep if you win this holiday season. The community member shout out comes from Boy is a Chicken over on Apple Podcasts. What a cool name. If you rate and review the podcast, you might be featured on a future episode. And this is what Boy is a Chicken said. Why? How are they so amazing? I can't wait to start off the right way for my YouTube channel. This is Knox Tucker. P.S. You guys are the best, Think Media. Well, thank you so much, Knox, for leaving that review. And I decided that I wanted to also shout out our YouTube fam. You know, this podcast, not only can you listen to it on anywhere that podcasts are distributed, but we also video record this podcast for you and put it on our YouTube channel, the Think Media Podcast. So the comment of the day is brought to you by Work with Think. That is where you can go if you would like to be hired on to our team here at Think Media. We have several positions that we are hiring for right now, as well as a paid internship. So you can go to workwiththink.com to get all the details to see if the positions are right for you. And the YouTube comment of the day is from Markari B. She says, I love listening to your wisdom, Sean. Thanks a lot for all of the info. Well, Mar, thank you so much for being a part of our community. And I'm so grateful that you spent the time to rate, review the podcast, and leave comments for us. It is so fun for me every single week to go in there and be able to talk to you through the comments on YouTube. Well, thank you so much for listening today. I hope that you will take this content to heart, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Are you ready to start or grow your YouTube channel? Do you feel stuck and need help connecting the dots? Join this free web class where you'll learn the step-by-step playbook for YouTube success. We've helped thousands of purpose-driven entrepreneurs just like you grow their influence with video. Register today for this exclusive training at thinkmasterclass.com.